Okay, so here are my thoughts about the new upcoming, because it hasn't come yet, it hasn't been launched, but the new Ram Rebel TRX. I don't know if it's gonna be 1500, maybe it's gonna be 1500 Rebel TRX, maybe it's just gonna be the Ram Rebel TRX. Who knows? Maybe a TRX. I don't know. I don't think so. But anyway, that's regarding the name. Doesn't it is not really that important, at least not to many people. But here are my thoughts, because a lot of a lot of prototypes have been seen in the wild, like in Detroit, I think, and in the dunes. They have been caught playing around with those trucks, and they look okay, I think. And here's my opinion, they look okay. Let's say they just look okay. I know, they're test mules, okay? But I just want to make sure that FCA doesn't do something, let's say, not stupid, but something GM like. I mean, something that GM would do, like just leave it as it is and throw a lift on it, maybe some bigger axles and a bigger engine, and call it a day. I don't want FCA doing that. I have seen these test mules and they just look like any other Ram 1600. They have different rims, of course. They have different axles because the A locks on the back, the rear axle, and they are different mechanically. They are different. The engine, it's gonna be a Hellcat, but the Hellcat Hemi engine. So yeah, it's gonna be different. But this is supposed to be the Raptor fighter. This is supposed to be the closest main competitor to the Raptor, because if you see at the off-road market, it's on the high right now. You see the Toyota's TRD Pro. You see the Wranglers that are selling like hotcakes, like Starbucks, I should say. You see the new Gladiator is selling okay, I think. You see the Colorado CR2. You see the Ram Rebel. You see the other one, the Power Wagon, which is like the big boy, heavy duty off-road truck. And you come to think that, yeah, they are selling well. People is looking for or at least they're looking for off-road vehicles, which is cool because off-road vehicles are actually pretty cool. And I think one of the vehicles that started all this was the Ford Raptor. I mean, the Wrangler before, but it's like the Wrangler have always been like the the default off-road vehicle. Toyota tried to compete back in the day with the FJ Cruiser. They discontinued that, and then they came up with the TRD Pros. Uh, Although the TRD Pros were like in 2016, because I remember back in the day Toyota used to have a TRD Sport, and was like I remember a sports version of the Toyota Tacoma. And that was cool. Had a lower suspension, I think a little bit more horsepower. It was more sporty type of truck. But then they came up with the TRD Pros. But that was from since 2016, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, off-road vehicles are on demand, and I think like from 2011 to now, I think what started this sort of like, let's call it an off-road revolution, because all of a sudden the Wrangler just got more company. I think what started all this was the Raptor, although you don't see anything that directly competes with the Raptor. You have the Tundra, for example, the Tundra TRD Pro, it's like an off-road vehicle. Although I think TRD Pros, when you compare those to the Wrangler Rubicon, for example, those TRD Pros are, yeah, they have Fox chocks, right? They're lifted. They have some under body protection, but TRD Pros is more kind of like an appearance package, in my opinion, at least, because it's not that big of a deal. For example, the Tundra TRD Pro, it doesn't even have a rear locker differential. It's I think an LSD, and yeah, that is not going to compete with the Raptor. Then you look at the Tacoma TRD Pro. Well, it's a mid-sized truck, but it's not meant to compete with the Raptor. It's not a drug crawler. It's not a desert runner or a pre-runner, whatever you want to call it. It's just not. The Colorado CR2 might be the closest, I think. It's sort of like the closest to that pre-runner type of vehicle, although it's a mid-size and not a full-size truck. You have the Wrangler. That's not even a truck. I mean, it's not a pickup truck. And the Wrangler has always been more kind of like um, a road crawler. Because if you see at the off-road market, something that's very interesting to me, like Toyotas, they are the go-to for overlanding. Then you see the Wranglers. They are like the go-to for road crawlers. And they are like the off-road general vehicle. Then you see the Raptors, sorry, and they are like the pre-runners, the default pre-runners. Usually you go for big vehicles when you want to make a pre-runner, which the Raptor it's perfect for because it's actually a it's by itself it's very big, and the Raptor is actually wider. It's very wide vehicle, and and then you have that, but none of them directly, like you got the Ram Power Wagon, but that's like a heavy duty off-road. I mean, it's too heavy to be a pre-runner, I think, and it's not fast enough, but it's too big to be a rock crawler. Nobody actually makes vehicles for mod. That's I don't think that's not a thing, I think. Um, and then you have like the Ram Rebel, which is, yeah, an overall do it all off-road type of vehicle. I think it's not a pre-runner, it's not a rock crawler, it's more kind of like a TRD Pro type of thing. And then you have the TRX, which is supposed to be that Raptor fighter, which is a huge market, I think, because actually pickups are selling like a Starbucks as well. I mean, they have always been, but they're selling a lot right now. And Ram just took that second spot and took it away from the Silverado, which is like very cool, you know. Like now the best selling pickup is the F1, the F series. Then the second is the Ram. And I think they really have to come up with that real Raptor competitor. And right now, I'm just looking at the pictures of those prototypes, of those test mules, and I really hope that FCA won't come up with this. That's my hope. I think, like personally, seriously, that's my hope, because it's just the same truck. It's just the same truck with some fender flares. They need to make a wide body first of all. Second of all, they need to solve that situation with the 8 locks on the back and the 6 locks on the front, because that's gonna be like a nightmare for aftermarket. And you know for sure that this truck, if they launch this truck, is gonna have a huge um, aftermarket market community. And having 8 locks in the back, 6 lock, like rims, you have to buy basically different rims. You just, it's gonna be weird, you know, it's gonna be weird. So they have to figure that out, which I guess they have by now. They're just I mean, they're just testing mules, and they have to throw a wide body kit. Like that guy that made a put a Hellcat engine on his Rebel. Is a I don't know. It was in a website from an off-road shop, but I don't remember the name right now. Let's see if I can find the name. Basically, the guy made his own Rebel, a TRX. He threw a wide body kit and a Hellcat engine, and the shop was called America's Most Wanted 4x4s. Yeah, that one. So that's what they need to do, I think. They have to throw a wide, just get rid of those fender flares. Throw a real wide body kit for the front and the back of a vehicle, like make the box, the bed, sorry, of the pickup bed different than the normal Ram. Because I think that's a huge part of the success of the Raptor. By the way, get rid of those side steps, because why? I mean, come on. I think that's a huge part of the Raptor success, because if you look at a Raptor, it looks different. You know it's an F150, but when you look at a normal one and you look at a Raptor, they look different. They don't look like the same truck. I mean, they look, but like, I know I like cars. I can easily tell the difference, but for some person that doesn't know anything about cars, that person can notice the difference. And that's I think a huge part, because they look menacing, they look badass, they just look better, they look cool. And I think that's a huge part of the success. It doesn't matter if the vehicle is not really that off-road worthy, but it has to look good. It has to look good, because that's a huge part of people buying vehicles. So I think they need to do that. I think they need to come up with a wide body kit for that Rebel. Um, a wide body kit, the lock situation on the axles. Well, the Hellcat, it's a Hellcat motor. There's not much to say about that. It's pretty cool by itself. Um, Hopefully, who knows, it's not gonna have that rotary dial for the gears. Maybe it's gonna have a lever or something cooler. I don't know. Just maybe. I hope so, at least. It's gonna be lifted. That's to be expected. And other than that, I really hope that the new TRX is gonna be something cool. I'm really looking forward to see that wide body kit, and especially that wide body kit with maybe some graphics, although it's not a big deal. It's just graphics. But that wide body kit, they need to come up with something cool for that. And that's basically my opinion on the new or the upcoming Grand TRX, Rebel TRX actually. So yeah, um, I don't know if you share my opinions. I think some people might share my opinions, but who knows. But that's it. That's gonna basically be it. If I know something else about the Ram Rebels, well, I'm gonna be uploading something else. And yeah, that's gonna be it for now. That's for now. I think that's gonna be it. So yeah, bye.